Good day everybody. So here we go. Got these gubbins bolted into the subframe, and I'm going to do a little bit of mathematics, but I just thought I would put this on here and look at this. This is pretty positive. It's all square, and the same here. What I'm going to do is weld these across here, one on each, on both subframes. I'm going to be using a square and squaring these up so they're nice and vertical. Then I will do a bit of measuring and adding and taking away, so I can have a measurement from here to here, which I will mark with a scriber, and then I will weld these pieces on. And for the front subframe, because the front subframe is a bit wider, and I think the bolt positions, because I'm going to bolt one of these subframe, the rear subframe is going to be bolted on. These crossbars will be bolted on, so I can move it forward and back to make it adjustable. But on the front subframe is wider, and I'm sure it pretty much sits over the rails, so there won't be anywhere to put a bolt through. So the front subframe is going to be welded, the rear subframe is going to be movable. So right this minute, I'm going to try and do a bit of maths and figure out all my scribe lines so I can clamp it all and get it welded. I am going to leave it bolted to the subframe when I weld it, because that will help keep it in the proper location, and hopefully I won't have too much trouble with warpage or shifting. But I'm pretty sure, because I've engineered most of these pieces so far, it should stay pretty decent, and I shouldn't have too much problem with alignment. So here we go then. I'm just going to do a bit of mathematics, and then I will come back and show you my workings out. I've just measured up the centres of the bushes on the rear subframe, and we're talking 511 between each centre. And then if we add the 25mm, which is the thickness of this, we get 536. So the outside of the bush, the gubbins that I made need to be 536. So then what I did was I measured the crossbar. One of them is 748 and the other 749. So I removed the 536 from the 748 and the 749, which then gives me, and divided that number by 2, so I get 106 and 106.5. So I've got the 749 and the 748, and I'll measure with my verniers and mark 106.5 on this one and 106 on this one. one side down, or one subframe down, ish. I mean, it's all still got to be, all still needs bolting. Need to drill the holes so I can bolt it down. And the front, and get on with the front subframe now. So I'm going to have to do the mathematics for that one, and that's going to be, I'm pretty sure, yeah, so it's basically the same scenario, but different, if you get me, bit different measurements. So I'll get on with that next. Eat some crisps for a minute. Montage of eating crisps and drinking tea. No. Just flip a bit. This subframe is really bent. E minus. Jesus! Christ! Check this puppy. Here we have notched for clearance, or weakened, integral sump guard, and broken engine mount. I'm hoping this one's straight. Do you know what? I've never misplaced a 10mm socket because I'm not an idiot. Some people say you haven't lived unless you've lost a 10mm socket. Beauty of measuring it like that is you can make it whatever you want it to be. I just did the same workings out for the front subframe. We got 670 between the centres, 695 on the outside of the gubbins, which leaves us with, I've got one bar's 750 long, the other's 748 long, the crossbars that is, which then gives me 27.5 and 26.5, the measurement inward from the ends. So I'm going to clean them up and measure them out, mark them out, and then I can do the same thing basically, weld it all together. So this is measured into roughly the Micra's wheelbase. I'm going to get some help to measure it in properly, but as you can see, I've got enough leeway here to get an 18-inch longer wheelbase if I wanted to, which would, I could build a Skyline, MX5 base Skyline if I wanted, not that I would, but yeah, 110-inch wheelbase is possible on this jig with MX5 running gear, which is fairly legit. Right, so I've got both subframes now positioned. The front subframe is fully welded. The mountings are fully welded to the jig, which I'm pretty pleased about. It's come out pretty decent. And the rear, I need some bolts, and because I'm impatient and I really would like to get this underneath the car tonight, I've put some decent welds on, but in a way that I can quite easily cut them off. Hopefully I'll get some bolts tomorrow or possibly Monday, and in fact I could build the car like this and I don't need to worry about the bolts until I want to use this jig for something else. In fact, I could just cut them off and remeasure it to the new wheelbase and then weld it again. So I don't know, maybe I will drill it. I'll drill it before I take it off. I'll drill it before I cut the welds, and then I will re-drill the new positions when I go to the longer wheelbase. I really need to put some feet, some legs on it. I have the material to make, I have enough material to make 10-inch legs, but I don't know whether to just put it on a couple of sleepers tonight, just so I can get it underneath the car and see what it looks like. Decisions. Well, it's 8 o'clock, so what I could do is put it on sleepers just so I can see what it's like underneath the car. It's not going to fit under with the front subframe, but what I can do is I can get it on the floor and drop the car down onto it and level the car up without a front subframe. I don't know, maybe I'm just wasting time. Maybe I should just call it a night and go home and carry on with this in the morning, because the longer I stay here, the later at night it is that I go to bed and the less time I get tomorrow. So maybe I'll just call it for tonight. I'm sure I will. If I call it for tonight, this will be the end of the video. If I don't call it for tonight, then you will see me again in a moment.